Welcome to the Co-Host Bros Podcast, where we break down everything short-term rentals, entrepreneurship, and building a profitable hospitality business. Whether you're a host, investor, or property manager, we share real strategies, real insights, and real experiences to help you scale smarter and grow faster. Let's dive in.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Co-Host Bros Podcast. My name is Matt Codd. I'm kicking it here with Austin Spitz, and today we have a special guest, the owner, operator, and owns his own OTA that is fee-free, Eric Gold Ryder. What is going on, everybody?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, what's going on, Eric? How you doing today, man?
Doing great, doing great. Little humid here in Austin, Texas, but someone says that fall's supposed to come in September. We'll see.
There we go. Hopefully so. But anyways, man, we'll just jump right into it. If you want to just give us a brief background on you, who you are, and how you got into the space. I know you've been in this game for a little bit now, and you've witnessed a lot of changes
Yeah,
over
happy to.
with your experience. So just give us a rundown of kind of how you got into this industry.
Sure. Thanks for having me. So, always loved hospitality. It really started back in the alternative, lodging space. It wasn't initially vacation rentals; it was bed and breakfast. So, back in the mid '90s, I started a website called bedandbreakfast.com. It was one of the first alternative accommodation websites, along with, I guess, Matt Klaus, who started Vacation Rentals by Owner at the same time because he had that vacation rental up in Breckenridge, Colorado. So we both sort of started in 95, stayed in the bed and breakfast space for 15 years. We built the largest property management software in the industry. We built the first CRS, central reservation system, in the industry. We allowed innkeepers to finally distribute inventory and rates and content to Expedia and Travelocity, which was the first for those guys. So tried to give them sort of equal footing with hoteliers, if you will. Sold that in 2010 to another Austin-based company called HomeAway. Just really wanted to spend some time with my kids, who were 12, 10, and 7 at the time. And then, I had a good amount of time with them. And as I was sort of sitting around being dad, the wheels are turning. So I ended up acquiring a, an inn outside of Austin with a business partner of mine. It's now called Sage Hill. We've got 20 keys, 88 acres, 4-room spa. It's a great little property, highly rated. Um, Co-founded a company called Turnkey Vacation Rentals. We became the second largest property management company in North America and sold to Vacasa in 2021. That's sort of bad name to say for the last few years, but I think they're getting things on track. And then also just started a sort of non-related but somewhat hospitality business called Fun Air back in 2013. It was a buddy of mine and I were looking for something fun to do together, and we were building a dock on Lake Austin and wanted to make the dock more fun. Being a kid myself and having kids, and so we wanted a slide, and the city of Austin's like, yeah, no slides. So we came up with sort of a temporary solution that was an inflatable slide, and now we're the leading manufacturer of inflatables for mega yachts globally, and it's called funair.com. You can check it out. But I think the interweaving thread is that it's always been about, I like creating businesses that bring friends and family together to create memories and have a good time. And I've been thankful that I've gotten to do that pretty much my whole life.
That's awesome, man. So like my question that comes to mind is for funair.com. I haven't heard of this. So you like you said manufacture. Do you sell them to people, or are they like rented for a period of time and returned back to you?
We sell them. So we work a lot with in the design stage with mega yachts. Someone's building a 300, 400 foot long mega yacht. We get pulled into the design stage so they know where to put the locker for the toys and the davit, the crane to get them out to be used, and the air compressor. So it's all sort of right there based on what the yacht owner wants. We also sell to people that already have their yachts, but we sort of run the gamut. We go to the when I say we, the team, I don't because I'm full-time savvy, but the team goes to the Monaco Yacht Show and the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show every year, and pretty much those two. And then we've just been around so long that we've got so many captains and owners that have been on and used and seen our products that, you know, the saying in the industry is 9 out of 10 boats are for sale because the owner wants to get the next bigger boat, the next bigger boat. So we just move with the owners or move with the captains when they change what boats they're on.
Yeah, it just sounds like a super niche business, right? Like
Very
just do
niche, but
one thing.
very easy to
Yeah.
find your target audience, which is cool.
Yeah, and once you get one of them, then they're all like, "Well, we need one of those, and then we need one of those," and they're all probably buddies with each other, right? Like
They
connected in some way,
they
shape, or
all know
form.
each other, very small industry. And if you think about it, it's not like we're selling razor blades, right? I'm not going to see what razor blade you use. But if you've got a
Right.
yacht and you're, on the hook outside of Monaco, and I'm going by on my yacht, which I don't have, by the way, and I see you've got this big kick-ass slide off the top deck of your boat, I'm going to be like, whoa, I want one of those if I own a boat, right? So, yeah, the nice thing about that space is that our products are billboards for our products. And so
Yeah,
anytime our stuff is being used, it's great stuff for social, and anybody else coming by sees our brand, and yeah, it really is. It's a fun industry. No pun
that's
intended.
awesome, man.
Name's Fun Air.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. And then I'm looking at your Sage Hill Inn and Spa here. It looks like it's in Kyle. We manage some cabins also in Kyle, so this is very interesting to me. Care to talk a little bit about like how this came about and like
Sure.
what do you guys offer? Like what do you guys offer? And tell me a little bit about this Inn and Spa you have out in Kyle. It looks
Yeah,
awesome, by the way. It
sure.
looks like pickleball courts, pool, all that stuff.
When we still owned bedandbreakfast.com, I'm talking back in 2008. Um, John and Janie Orr, who originally developed the Inn above Onion Creek, which is the property that's now Sage Hill Inn and Spa, they were customers of ours, and they put their property on the market for sale back in 2007, 2008. And we were thinking, that would be a great property to buy and create an innkeeping institute, if you will, where we brought innkeepers, wannabe innkeepers, in sitters from around the world in for a 1 to 4 week intensive and taught them sort of A to Z on hospitality. Because one of the main things we did at bedandbreakfast.com from 95 to 2010 is educate the industry, right? Because innkeepers, just like property managers, are extremely busy. They're juggling 1,000 things. And to understand, you know, direct reservations and distribution and property management software and yield and revenue management. I mean, we would get innkeepers that are like, well, I'm not going to change my rates. The room stays the same year round. Why would I change the rate? And you're like, no, you need a spread. I don't know what a spread is. You need your low season, your shoulder season, your midweek, your peak, all these things. So we spent so much time educating innkeepers, speaking at these state conferences all across the country for years that we thought, let's formalize it and let's do it right here outside of Austin. And what happened is we reached out to those guys and we were in discussions to buy the property. And then we ended up selling bedandbreakfast.com. But the two next things we had thought of doing was, one, let's do a property management company, hence Turnkey, which we launched in 2013. The other thing we thought about doing was doing a roll up of independent, high end bed and breakfasts, really boutique hotels, if you will, sort of a in Schrager, Joie de Vie, let's get the Green Mansion in, let's get Sage Hill or in above Onion Creek, let's get Angels, whatever it was over in Fredericksburg, let's get something down in, the historic area of San Antonio. We wanted to create a group of properties that was maybe 8 to 10 properties central to Texas that shared back office, shared CRM, shared, we gave travelers, uh, they knew what they were going to get. They're going to get the robes, they're going to get good food, they're going to get a high end level of service. So we sort of wanted to create an umbrella brand with these independent properties beneath us. And what happened was we bought Sage Hill. It's a big property. It's 88 acres. When we bought it, it was one, two, seven structures or buildings. Now it's maybe 15. We've taken it from 12 keys to 20 keys. We've added the 4 pickleball courts in the pavilion. We added a 4-room spa. We added the pool and the hot tub, the trails. So it's been a lot of fun. And it's been a lot of work. And so when we bought Sage Hill, we then, or in above Onion Creek that we turned into Sage Hill, we then started Turnkey, and I was starting Fun Air. And we just decided, you know what? This is going to be a lot more work than we thought. And we sort of have our hands full with other opportunities and things that we were passionate about. So we never got around to doing the roll up. So today, Sage Hill, I would say, um, it's it's surrounded by 2,500 acres of open space. So the city of Austin, back in the late 90s, did a dye test in Onion Creek right there, and they determined that a third of the water for the Barton Springs pool, which is anyone that's familiar with Austin knows it's sort of the crown jewel of Austin, comes from this area of the hill country with all the karst and limestone they have out there. So the city of Austin has bought up a lot of the land out there, so we're in a unique spot where you're in Kyle, which is one of the fastest growing, uh, you know, cities or towns in the country, and you drive out and you're passing new subdivision, new subdivision. You get out and you turn off on our driveway. You drive a mile off of 150, weaving your way down to the inn, and you get there, and we've got 88 acres, but it looks like you're in the savannas of Africa because you can't see anything because nobody can build. We're surrounded by 2,500 acres. So really we've positioned it as a place where people go really to sort of, rejuvenate the soul. We want people to go out there and not feel like, oh, I've got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. We want to pamper people. We want people to get refreshed. We want people to have a couple of days and, you know, just sort of calm. Dinner is included in our nightly rate. It's a 4-course dinner. Foods are really good out there. A heavy continental breakfast is included. Um, so we want people to get out there and not have to think about stuff. Hopefully, we've thought everything for them. They realize they need something, and oh my gosh, it's right there. And that's what it for us. It's been about hospitality, and to that end, we're all familiar with the terrible floods that happened over July 4th here in Central Texas and out in Kerrville and Hunt. Um, we donated 100 room nights to first responders so that they could come out and just cleanse the soul and get a night or two out there on us to stay and have some downtime. And we opened that up to other folks and said, hey, for every $100 that someone donates, we're going to add a whole nother night to that program. And I think we got like almost 200 nights total between the 100 that we gave and ones that were donated. So, really cool place. You guys should get out there sometime.
Yeah, that's awesome, and I love how you leveraged your property and your brand and your business to be able to pour back into the community, and I think that's what it's all about at the end of the day, and doing your part and making the world a better place, man. So
Yeah,
I
thanks.
love that. Yeah, I love that. I was wondering, like, it looks like, so how is this managed, like, from like a management intensive thing? Like, what you have, it sounds like the way you run it, you're going to need people on site, right? If you're
For
saying you
sure.
have people that are preparing meals, probably a concierge check-in, like for anybody that's
Housekeeping,
interested in like,
GMs. Yep.
yeah, for anybody that's interested in like the boutique hotel space, like how are you running and operating this? Because I think this is super fascinating.
I mean, we've got a GM that is a full-time GM there and an assistant GM, and we've got front desk folks, we've got back of house folks, we've got maintenance people, we've got a gardener, we've got housekeeping, we've got a chef, we've got servers. I mean, it's legit full operation.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, and then the other question that came to my mind, then sorry, man, I'm hogging all the questions here. But like for you that's been in this industry for so long, like you have seen a lot of changes. I since a night like I've only been doing this for like 5 or 6 years, right? But like I am very spoiled with everything, and I even find myself complaining of like, hey, if these two software programs could merge, it would be a lot easier. But like, if you're doing this in 1995, you've seen a lot of progress in the industry. You care to talk about like some of the changes you've seen and like how being in the hospitality industry maybe has changed over the last whatever 3 decades that you've been in it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think, pardon me, if you go back to hospitality in its essence, right? It's people taking care of people. And when the internet sort of rolled out, as far as we know it, not ARPANET in the military, but GUI, graphical user interface, Windows 95, whatever. You guys probably uh, were glimmers in someone's eye back then, or just being formed. But in the beginning, we were creating these websites to allow people to discover these great properties, but the traveler would still have the relationship with, in my case, the innkeeper, right? They could book it through us if they wanted to, but we still were like, hey, you, traveler, need to talk with that innkeeper. The innkeeper's got the run of the land and they know the best restaurants to go to and the cool little, springs to go sit in and, New Braunfels or whatever it is. And hospitality was sort of connecting the two. Um, I think what we've seen happen is you've had sites like Airbnb come along, vacation rentals by owner get acquired by HomeAway, which got acquired by Expedia and changed the name or the brand to VRBO and now Verbo. Um, it feels like we've taken a lot of the hospitality out of the industry and we've made it transactional. And part of that's good because sometimes if it's 11 o'clock at night, I don't want to talk to a property manager. I can't. They're closed. I got a to-do list. I need to get my property booked. Just let me book the doggone thing and then I'll deal with the rest later. But I think a part of what we've seen happen is we've substituted tech for hospitality. And when you get an intermediary like Airbnb and Verbo, booking.com that require the reservation to happen on the platform, and if you want to communicate with the host, you have to do it through the platform. And if you try to send your email address or your phone number, they're going to scrub it out because they don't want you to disintermediate them or they don't get paid. But what happens is that sort of prevents hospitality from manifesting. If you're a property manager and you can't communicate cleanly and openly and directly via phone or email or text with your potential guests, I don't care who you are, you can't give as good of a level of service, right? You don't know why they're coming to town. You don't know, what events are they going to be at? You may have, as a property manager, this great new property that you're onboarding that's going to be ready before this group arrives, but you're not able to communicate with them. So they just got to book whatever they book. And then you're competing with every other property manager in town and or Airbnb or Vrbo. So I think, unfortunately, we've seen hospitality take a little bit of a hit. We're trying to solve that with Savvy. The other thing is I think you've seen the economics change, right? When I started in '95, hotel distribution costs they use net rate models, and you had Hotel Reservation Network. which is now hotels.com, HRN. It was a toll-free number, and they negotiated net rates with hotels at 70 points. Sorry, 30 points. So 70% of the cost. So $100 night, they got it for 70, and they'd mark it up whatever the demand dictated. Maybe back to 100, it may be less or more. But as a hotel, you were giving up 30 points for distribution. We've seen hotel distribution costs come down from 30 points to the 16, 15% range. At the same time, we've seen alternative accommodations. I'm talking bed and breakfasts, independent boutique hotels, i.e., Sage Hill, certainly vacation rentals. We've seen that go up from paying 25, 50, $100 a month on HomeAway or Verbo or bedandbreakfast.com to 15, 20% as well. So, the cost of distribution for alternative lodging has gone up. And it's another thing that we think another reason why we started Savvy and why we think we can hopefully help there.
So I think actually I agree with you. I think bed and breakfast and experience type places like your Inn and Spa Sage Hill is gonna actually is really gonna be the winner. I think when it comes to people are gonna want community and things like that, and technology just kind of made it so it's like anybody could just dish out bullshit. So some people just don't care. Um, I was looking at your website as well, and on a side note, it's your pickleball courts reminded me of some guy I met. I was at an entrepreneurial boot camp a few months ago, and I met a guy, and he owns a company called Saber Mashups, and what he does, he builds Star Wars pickleball paddles. So they hum like the what is it called? The lightsaber
Yeah, the
saber
Saber. Yeah.
mashups. Yeah, it hums like the saber. It has an LED ring that goes around it. You can change whatever color you want. When you hit it, it does the flash like the
Oh, yeah.
actual lightsaber. So when I saw your pickleball things, it just reminded me of that
Oh,
guy.
yeah. That
It's
sounds
awesome.
awesome. Yeah,
It
that
is
sounds
awesome.
cool.
It is very awesome, very
So,
expensive, but it's
so hold on,
awesome.
Matt. So is it like does the ball glow up too? Because
No, it's the
that could be something.
paddle. The paddle is like a saber, and then you could even put like fire mode on it, and it'll be like fire. Like it'll look like fire, and it's a legit paddle ball. It's 13 ounces paddle. You can legally play with it. It lasts 4 hours, and it'll make the lightsaber noises. It'll make it when
Hey, if
it
it
hits the
shoots
ball.
flames, I'll take two.
Yeah, it almost does.
Yeah.
Well, you haven't seen the price yet, but I mean, yeah. I was there at this boot camp, and there's this guy, and he brought his 10-year-old daughter with him, and it was just reminding me of his amazing product, and it's just like people are going out of the box. So it
The
reminded me that you
pickleball
were going out of the box.
courts have been a lot of fun, and it was like we don't want people to show up at Sage Hill and get this, man, crap, I've got all these things I need to go do. We want them to sort of chill at the pool or get in a hammock or read a book. But pickleball, I love, and we thought it'd be a great way. It's a great team building thing. So for corporate retreats, etc., where they want to work in the morning and have something that they all bond around, we thought the pickleball courts would be a winner. We've done some camps. We've had Zane Navertil come down and some other pros come down and do actual pickleball camps. So it's been a lot of fun to have them. I don't think you'll find as beautiful of a pickleball setup anywhere in Central Texas. Not saying we're the only place that has courts. More and more places have courts, but you stand there and you're watching the sunset over 2,000 acres. It's a pretty spot.
Yeah, it's crazy. So maybe you need to sell some pickleball stuff over there.
Yeah, yeah, some merch.
Get some markup. Hit up my boy
Uh-huh.
over there at Saber Mashups. Maybe you can mark up his paddle since
There
you
you
have
go.
some, with them your yacht friends over there.
There you go.
So Savvy. So Savvy, I mean, I know I've reached out to you guys trying to get on there. Explain more exactly what it is and what it does and how it can help people, especially with the most recent, Airbnb changes, and you can elaborate on that as well, as to why it's a perfect time to probably join Savvy.
Yeah, for sure, for
So
sure. I think it goes back to, if you look at the way Airbnb and Verbo work now, they are an intermediary. They add 15 to 20% to the cost, right? That's what they charge. So that's money that's no longer going to the property manager or to the homeowner, because the platform took a big chunk of the cash. Um, so when we look at, we feel that we need a new marketplace for vacation rentals that's book direct. And you look at both sides of the equation. For travelers, what we're saying is, hey, we're going to give you a place to do discovery, because a traveler's not going to want to, if they're coming to Austin, they don't want to go Google and look at 20 different property manager sites for Austin and re-enter their search. It's 6 adults and 2 kids and a pet, and I want to be on Lake Austin, and it's these days, and I'm going to go look at 20 different property managers websites to find the inventory. That's just not realistic. So as an industry, if we want to move share from Airbnb and Verbo to direct, we've got to do something like this, because a property manager can make sure they have a good website. They can have great professional photos. They can have a good booking engine, and they should. That's really best for your repeat business and your word of mouth business. Discovery, it's going to be hard. You're going to have to put a lot of money into social. You're going to have to put money into SEO. Um, so you really want to make sure you have that stuff, so that your repeat word of mouth business, as it grows, can book direct and you're not paying anything. Other than that, if we want to move share off of Airbnb or Verbo, we as an industry have to give travelers a comprehensive website with all the listings in the market that they can search, see on a map, consistent formatted, good rates, availability, all real time from all the different property management software systems out there. That's a lot of work. And we got to give the traveler the ability to do the search and find it. And then when they go to book it, great. We'll collect the information. We're going to pass it through the API to the property manager securely. So the property manager books it just like any other direct reservation that they get through their website or through their phone or through their email. So we're a book direct OTA. For travelers, we're going to save them 15 to 20%. Typically, that's $400 to $500 per stay from what we've seen on our site. A little higher gross booking value on Savvy so far. And the other thing that we provide to the traveler is all of our properties are professionally managed. So my son, he is or was a super host on Airbnb. Um, we don't let those guys on our site. We want our travelers to know, if there's a problem, there's a professional, meaning someone that does this for a living, behind their stay. If they're locked out 11 o'clock at night, their Bluetooth lock's not working, and their family's standing out in the rain, we don't want them to try to call the host and it's some bro that's surfing down in Costa Rica and you can't reach them. We want it to be, there's a professional, they're in town, they're going to get your butts in your house. So that's what we that's why we say savvy travelers want to know they're getting the best rate, and they want the peace of mind to know that there's a professional behind the stay. For hosts on the property manager side, we're the way that hosts are going to build direct business, because you're not going to move travelers off of Airbnb or Verbo without a big book direct OTA site, because travelers aren't going to go the other way. So they're not going to go search 20 different sites, like I said. So if you're a host, you can put all of your properties on our site for free. Doesn't cost you anything. It's takes 15 minutes, literally. We call it an hour, but it literally is 15 minutes. And we get all of your content, your rates, your pricing, your availability, all synced in real time on Savvy. And when someone comes and searches, you're there. The way we make money is if and when A property manager wants a little more exposure. Let's say they got a new homeowner and they want to bump them up a little, or it's not peak season and they want to bump up their listings a little. They can pay a flat, low monthly cost, 25, $50 to bump the listings up to sponsored or featured listings and get more exposure. That's the model. For a property manager, it's their terms and conditions, not ours. It's their payment policy. They control the money. When the reservation happens, the property manager is the merchant of record. They get the money instantly, not 2 weeks after checkout, right? And most importantly, they get to provide hospitality. So on Savvy, we're not forcing travelers to communicate with hosts through our tool and we're scraping everything out. We show the property manager's link to their website, we show their phone number, we show their email, we show their text. We're trying to put travelers and hosts together. Even if they don't make the reservation on our site, we don't care. We just want to be the place that has it all so travelers will come there and they can find it. So it's great for hosts because no commissions, their terms and conditions. Even if they don't get the reservation, they get to talk to another potential guest and put them in their CRM, and maybe they get them in 6 months or in 12 months or the next time, or they tell a friend, etc. So we feel like it's higher level of hospitality. It solves the pain points on the supply side for hosts, and it solves the pain points for travelers.
So yeah, I was gonna ask you one how you guys made money. Okay, so you answered that. Um, so really, my next question really is pertaining to marketing of your site. So what is your plan to be able to get these guests? I mean, in these hosts, okay, the hosts, cool. We'll get you some hosts on here from this, right? But
Sure.
how are you going to get the guests to go and use your website to look for these like listings? Like, how are
Yeah,
you gonna
yeah.
bring them over? What is your plan to bring them over?
So that's that's
Marketing wise,
that's a
right?
great question, Matt, and it's the $1 million question. And there's really no silver bullet. What we're banking on and betting on is that we save travelers a lot of money. People are extremely frustrated, as we've seen with the recent shell game by Airbnb with all the fees, right? There's a lot of negativity out there around fees. Travel's something you talk about. You get together with friends for happy hour, you haven't seen them in 2 weeks. Hey man, so what are you guys doing? You know, are you heading anywhere fun? Oh yeah, we're gonna go get a vacation rental in Seaside, or we're gonna go down to Port A and get a short-term rental or get an Airbnb. People talk about our industry and what we're doing. So our strategy is social first. We're doing influencers, we're doing collaborations. We feel like we're not Airbnb and Verbo. We're a smarter way to book. So we don't have the money to spend like they do, but we don't think we need to because we think that when either of you books a property on Savvy and you save $500, you're going to tell everybody you know. Anytime for the next 3 years that the word Airbnb comes up, you're going to be like, bro, Airbnb, have you heard of Savvy? I saved $500. Like it paid for a deep sea fishing excursion, right? So we think word of mouth and we think social and press are going to be the big ways that we really build the marketplace.
Okay, so you're gonna try to build the brand with word of mouth and everybody else. Um, that makes sense. Um,
We couldn't do that
so
if our model was the same as Airbnb because then we're no different.
well, yeah, because
But
you'll have stakeholders to to
but
help at that
I
point.
mean, we'd be selling the same thing.
Yeah.
Since we save people 15 or 20%, we think that 10% of the market would be like, man, I'm going to check Savvy before I book over there. Because if you go to savvy.com and you search, once you choose a property and give us dates, we show you the Savvy price for that property on those dates. And right next to it, we show you Airbnb's price and we show you Verbo's price for the same property for the same dates. Even if we're more expensive, which should very, very rarely happen. But in the case that that is the case, we're still going to show you. So as a traveler, the savvy thing to do is to go to savvy.com first. And if you don't find something, then you can go check Airbnb or Verbo.
So I noticed that you did that on one of your rooms when I was browsing your rooms on Sage Hill. One of them said the Airbnb price was this much. And then I scrolled up to be like, wait a minute, did he do it on the other rooms? And I'm like, oh, I should probably tell him later to do it on the other rooms because it stuck out to me like, oh, the Airbnb price, right? The big problem there is that you're going to have to calculate the fees on that, I guess, to show the display the price to where it's, because if the
It's
price
all
is
in
the
now.
same, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's all in, right?
It's all in.
So so you guys have one way to make revenue right now with your listing. Okay, so how does the algorithm work with the listings on your guys' website? Not just sponsored. I understand if they're sponsored, they're going to be like a Google search close to the top, right? But if I'm just a normal willy-nilly guy and I want to know how my listing ranks, how does that work?
Yeah. Full disclosure on that. The algorithm is not that it's not built yet to the degree that we need it to be built. The plan is if we're going to be successful, we've got to show properties that travelers are looking for. Because if not, no one's going to scroll through 50 or 100 or 200 listings to find a property. So the plan is to use browsing history, if they're a registered user, if they've been cookied, top properties, seasonality, best deal, because we can see which ones have the most savings off of Airbnb or Verbo. So that's not built. Right now, we're working on getting ratings and reviews live, and we're working on we've done all post verification internally using a system we built internally. We're in the process of moving that to a third party. So every 100% of our hosts will be fully vetted, third party vetted. So we've got some bigger things we're working on today, but the plan is to get the algorithm built and live by the end of the year. So right now you're going to see a list of
So
everything. You can use the filters to sort it. It's not ideal. And that's why
so
we're really not out telling property managers to pay us yet, because we're still building it, right? We're still getting property managers on. We're adding the functionality. When it starts going and we're converting more and it's working, then I'd be like, okay, if you're a property manager, you'd see an ROI if you upgraded your listings right now. But we're not telling anybody that today. We don't want their money if
okay,
we can't
gotcha.
deliver. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. So 30-second elevator pitch. You guys are a site that takes collective professional property managers and you direct them to their direct booking link, right? Or are they booking through Savvy, or are they like lazyhretreats.com? You go through Savvy and they like this property in the hill country, it'll take you guys to our
We
website,
do
right?
both. We prefer that the end-to-end booking happens on our site because that's a much higher conversion for a traveler. Not all PMSs can support that. So for the majority of the properties on our site, if you go to book it, we'll capture all your information just like if you're on Airbnb or Verbo. We'll pass that securely through the API with the PMS to the property manager, and the reservation will just happen in their PMS. But there still are some properties on our site where when you come to them and you go to hit the book it button, we throw you to the book it page on their website.
Okay, that makes sense. So what about things? So how would that work with things like, say, insurance and damage protection? Is that like set up through the property manager? They coordinate all that stuff, right? Like,
Yeah,
does my question kind of make sense? I'm trying to think of like some
it
of the
does.
things
The
that
PM would
I
still
think
be
you're.
able to sell any of those add-ons directly to that. We're not doing it. We're not going to sell our own products and compete with our suppliers. That's for the property manager to say, hey, we saw that you booked. Would you like to add cancellation insurance? Would you like to add property damage insurance, et cetera, et cetera?
Okay.
Interesting.
So, okay.
That's another thing that like Airbnb. I mean, now they're sending people into hosts' homes that I mean, who there's all kinds of questions around that. So there's just a lot. We eventually, most likely, will try to negotiate some insurance products that hosts will be able to add to their booking path if they choose to, but we're not going to force it on anyone, right?
You should get with the guys at Happy Guest. They got to end with Wavo, and they already get a discounted rate. They could probably help you. Um,
Sweet.
but I do have, so I have some more questions, but I do have an idea that I would think that would be, I think it personally, from my experience, would be super fucking sweet if you implemented it. So if you implemented something on like the manager's profile, whatever, to be able to add a Google Analytics or Metapixel to those listings, I think that would be a game changer because you could just so it'd be a win-win for everybody, right? So one, if it was me, it's a win-win for you. They're going to your site. Double win because they're going to come back to your site because I'm going to retarget them with ads. Do you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like a win-win. So that's going to generate you traffic
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. That's cool.
So I think that might be a good feature for you guys to
No, I
add. I
like
just
that,
wanted to
Matt.
put that out there. Yeah. So
I
when he
like
adds
that.
it, you guys credit all me here.
All right. You know,
No,
the other thing, but to your point, you asked about how we grow awareness. I mean, while we're doing social and PR and word of mouth, I mean, I would say a part of what we're hoping is that property managers understand that until they promote a book direct third party, travelers are going to go to Airbnb and Verbo. So ideally, what we'd like to see over time, and it's fair that we've got to deliver and we've got to show that we're legit. We've been in the industry a long time, but regardless, um, ideally, what happens is a traveler goes to a property manager's website, they don't find what they're looking for, and there's a interstitial or even a link on that property manager's website that says, "Hey, are you looking for somewhere other than Austin? Click here to book direct at over 150,000 properties around the country." If we as an industry start moving travelers off of Airbnb and Verbo to a platform that's driving direct reservations for property managers, it's a win-win for property managers because there's going to be property managers in Denver sending people there that now come to Austin and vice versa, right? We all know people don't go back to the same place all the time. So hopefully what happens is the industry understands and realizes, son of a gun, I can do all I want on my own website, but if I really want to build my book direct business, we as an industry need to rally around a site like savvy.com and let travelers know it exists so we can quit paying 15 20% to them, lose terms and conditions, lose payment processing, et cetera, et cetera.
yeah, I think, and I think there's some partnerships to be had with that to be able to help you boost that. I think that there's things that you could do. I think you could reach out with Arthur over at StayFi and maybe get some kind of button for somebody to add that onto their splash page versus just like some kind of website to have like a little logo on there,
Yeah,
things like that to get word out as well. But so there's a couple questions that I have.
sure.
So one, what is to stop the owners from using their own direct booking site? And my assumption is it's going to be the more word of mouth. Your presence is going to be bigger. You're going to be pushing the ball down the hill faster. Is that my
Well,
guess?
no, property managers should have their own direct booking site. I mean, that's sort of like the first thing they should be doing, right? If they're a professional, I mean, if you're a for rent by owner, you're not going to have your own website. Probably you're going to use your Airbnb listing or your Verbo listing. But we're working with professionals. They should all have websites. And as a matter of fact, you can't be on our site unless you have a bookable website. That's one of the things that we check to make sure you have to make sure that you're truly professional. Um, but you should have that up for all your word of mouth business, for your repeat business, for anybody that happens to see some influencer that posts about your cool house, etc. But you should participate in Savvy because as an industry, we're going to move share from Airbnb or Verbo by giving that traveler another site that has similar functionality and similar inventory.
I love it. I think that, yeah, we're going to build a stronger network together to get people
That's
to
right.
book direct.
That's
Um,
exactly right.
and that's fantastic. Um, so okay. Okay, are you worried? Because okay, I say
Yes.
this
No, I'm
kind of. Are
teasing.
you worried? Rent just came. No, I'm just kidding. Are you worried about Google Vacation Rentals? Because I feel
No.
like that's kind of a competitor a little bit with you. I think it's kind of a similar thing, except for they're pulling their direct sites and it's trying to find the cheapest way. But is that a concern to you, or do you think that maybe they just haven't done enough marketing for people to even know about Google Vacation Rentals? Because I don't think it's very popular personally.
I would say worried is probably too harsh, but
Okay.
certainly aware of them. I mean, I had the same thing at bed and breakfast.com, right? When they launched Google Places. And all of a sudden you had these lists of B&Bs. Um, I think that one, it's a huge space, but two, I think that, the fact that we're doing, you know, legit verifications and background checks on all of our hosts will make us a better site than that. I think getting uh, the property managers to participate. It's one thing to have the connection to the PMS, which we've got over 20 now, and hospitables on the list to come this year. But it's another thing to get the property managers to sign up, right? And they're busy. We're just coming out of the busy season, so um, getting that inventory and and parsing availability, rates, and content for over 2,000 property managers on 20 different PMSs, parsing it in real time and displaying it. That's a bit of a moat. It's hard work. Not that Google can't do it, they can, but I think they've got bigger fish, bigger opportunities, bigger fish to fry.
Yo, what's going on, party people? Check it out. I created a school group called Co-Host Bros Academy, 100% free, just for you. I want to help you guys get your first deal. I want to help you guys grow your business. I want to do it together. I want to create a community. I got free templates. I'm going to be adding stuff all the time. It's a really new group. It's been about a week. It's 100% free right now for you. So I would suggest you join as soon as possible. I hope to see you there. Okay. Yeah, I agree.
It'll be a
I'm
distribution
sorry.
source for us, Matt. I mean, we'll
Yeah, no, and it
distribute to
should
those
be.
guys. It's just we've
Yeah, and
had
it should
bigger
be.
bigger things we've been working on with our team. I mean, it's right.
That's
Uh, we could triple our engineering team probably and still be busy.
yeah. I have so many ideas for you.
Uh,
Um, go ahead, Austin.
Shoot them to me.
So So what is like what's a contract or what's an agreement look like from say we have, we've got 65 listings, we want to get rocking and rolling with you. I don't see why I don't see why anybody would be opposed to this.
Agreed.
So I guess my question, what does the agreement look
It's
like
no
and what
agreement.
is why would why no agreement?
No
Okay, so
agreement.
why would any property manager give you pushback to this? Because I'm trying to poke holes in this and I don't have anything to poke.
So that's a great question, and truthfully, today the only thing they could say is that we're not at scale yet, and we're not driving enough volume for it to be worth their time. Hopefully, what they realize is that we need property managers to participate to get travelers to quit going to Airbnb and Verbo and come to us, right? Once we've got a majority of the inventory, then we're super awesome for travelers. But while we're still building, the travelers may not come to us because we don't have as much inventory as Airbnb and Verbo. So really, property managers should be telling all their other friend property managers, guys, let's go, let's go, let's get on this. So travelers have an alternative to Airbnb where they'll book direct. And when you realize that you set it up in 15 minutes and then it's all done automatically in the background through the API, and it's no more work. You get a reservation, it's in your PMS. It's not a separate channel you have to manage. There's no reason. There really is no reason.
Yeah, that was my next thing is like, okay, what kind of friction do I have to go through to get listed? And you've already eliminated that. If it's a true 15 minutes to onboard and you got 65 properties, we're good to go. I guess you said I like how you've had a property management company, you've built this for property managers, to their advantage. So I love that. I guess one of the questions I have, is there any concern with the level of standards of the property managers that you're working with? For say, like, what if there's a really, really bad operator? Do you want to push their properties per se? Do you vet them in any way? Or is it more of like Airbnb doesn't do this and they're an
No,
OTA,
but
right? So like maybe you don't. I know.
they all have ratings, and we have an internal threshold that if your rating for your PM is lower than that, you're not on our site.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't know. I don't see why anyone would not do this. If it's like it's so much, especially with what you guys are saying with the industry and Airbnb and these OTAs leaning more and more towards favorability of the guest and just taking freedom and rights away from the people that built who they've become.
Yeah.
It's like what you're doing is so disruptive. And I just encourage anyone that listens to our show, if you're a manager, like check in with them, book a call. I don't know what's the best way to do this, or just go and get registered on there. I'm definitely going to take a further look into it. So I think man, this is awesome.
Yeah, thanks. It's fun. It's fun to get to be in an industry you love and doing something that really could make a difference for a lot of people. I mean, you think about saving someone 20% on a vacation rental. I mean, that's an extra night or a nicer place. Instead of going to Port Aransas, you're on the beach in Port Aransas, or instead of going to Breckenridge, Colorado, you're ski out. I mean, it allows travelers to create better memories with friends and family, and it allows property managers to bring in more of the revenue because it's not going to the platform, which means also the homeowners. So it really it's a smarter way to do it.
yeah, I'm gonna advocate for you too. So it does put more money in your pocket as a host. But also, I will say I did set up listings on there. It took like no time. It just pretty much imported it all, um, which was great. I couldn't do it because Hospitable. That's why he keeps mentioning Hospitable, everybody, because I use Hospitable. And once he uses Hospitable, I will join. It cost me nothing. But my question, actually, I do have a question with Hospitable. So when people book direct through my site, I pay for direct premium. So Hospitable's the merchant of record. I got chargeback protection, all that kind of stuff. Is that going to affect that when they import it, or is it just going to take them to my Hospitable page? Is
It's
that
going
how
to
it's going to
be
work?
it's going to be it'll come into your PMS as just it like it came through your website.
Okay. And then my other question was, how many listings do you guys currently have on Savvy, and how many different markets are you guys in?
We've got just over 150,000 from over 2,000 property management companies. And that's mainly US, followed by Mexico, followed by Canada. We have some onesie twosies, truly international, but it's because the property management company is based in the US and they happen to have some listings that are, in Europe.
That's great. That's a lot. That's a lot of listings than, I mean, you
Yeah,
would have
like if you
thought.
were coming to Austin, we've got like 700 in Austin.
No competition,
Yes.
Austin. You guys don't
Yeah.
book up. Don't put your Austin listings on there. I'm just kidding.
You got to have
um,
enough that once people start drilling down, you still have a good, they're bringing a pet. They got 8 people.
yeah,
You can't have a bunch of no pets, 4 people, 2 rooms condos. You need to have enough inventory that once people start drilling down, there's still results.
Yeah, just don't put those arbitrage guys on there. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think it's great. So how long? I don't think we asked when you actually started this. Did we ask that?
So I bought a company called B&B Finder in 2019 from the lady that founded it. She founded it in 1998, back when a few years after I started bedandbreakfast.com. I bought it with the intent to change it into a vacation rental site. And we relaunched as Savvy and savvy.com February this year. So 7 months ago.
Awesome. That's awesome. So
Yeah.
yeah, like I mean, like Austin says, I don't really see a reason not to get your properties on there. I mean, here's the benefit for you guys is like it's just more exposure. It might pop up on a Google search, it might pop up anywhere. So it's like it's just more exposure for you. And a lot of you guys aren't using like booking.com. You're only just using Airbnb or just Airbnb and VRBO. So you might as well get all the exposure you can get, especially if it's free. So I thank you, Eric, for your time, and
You
this
bet.
has been great and eye-opening episode. I want you to let everybody know where they can find you or how they can sign up, and either DM me on Facebook or text Austin or something and give me the information, and I'll put in the show notes, or I'll just figure
Sure.
it out myself.
Sure.
But yeah, so yeah, please.
I'm on LinkedIn, and it's Eric, ERIC at savvy.com is my email.
Awesome. All right. Well,
So
thank
what's the
you.
best way? No, sorry, I was just gonna say, what's the best way? So do you have like a salesperson or to book a call, or is
Yeah,
it basically just best to just go to the site and set it
you can
up?
do it
Because
on the
we
site.
have a lot of property
That's
managers.
exactly right.
Okay.
It's SAVVY.
Yeah.
It's right here. Savvy.com.
Awesome.
SAVVY.
Yeah.
SAVVY, not to be confused with Savvy Realty, but it might be good to partner up with Tyler Kuhn. You could probably play off each other a little bit.
There you go.
That'd be awesome.
Those savvy people, we got to stick together.
There you go. The smarter, savvier way to book.
That's right. Guys, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
And
thank
happy
you.
to,
We
if
really
anybody
appreciate
has
it.
questions, please shoot me an email, Eric at Savvy, or hit me up on LinkedIn.
Awesome.
All right. Thank y'all for listening. Peace.